Fly I'm going to tie for you today, it's going to be really weird. It's going to get weird. The look of it is a saltwater fly. It very obviously has saltwater origins. I use it in Tierra del Fuego fishing for sea-run brown trout on the Rio Grande and Rio Menendez River. There are times down there when atmospherically, climatologically, things are off, and the sea-run brown trout down there, they're just not eating. And they're not eating what you're throwing to them, usually rubber legs, prince nymphs, articulated leeches, woolly buggers, bitch creek nymphs sometime. So you have to change up your game plan, and we end up throwing something to them that's really meant to kind of piss them off in a way. That's what this fly is. It's really good for one fish down there a day when conditions are right for it. But that fish, every one of them I've caught have been over 15 pounds. And this is in a river where the average is 13.8 pounds the last year that I guided there. So it's good for a big, big fish. We'll get started using a Mustad 34011. It's a saltwater hook. And I use it for a lot of my streamers. It's probably my favorite streamer hook. Get that wrenched in there a bit more. That should hold it. The thread I'm going to use is basically flat wax nylon. It's the equivalent of a 3/0, but a little bit stronger and covers a lot more territory. This is going to be good for the nose. Get this connected to the hook. Starting at the eye, I'm going to roll all the way back to the bend. We're going to tie in as part of a tail, basically a type of flashabou accent right here. And we're just going to have that kind of come off the tail of the fly right about that far. And it's actually going to be an undertail because the top wing, I guess you could call it, the overbody, is going to be extending off of that just a bit more. And that overbody is basically a peacock sword. Where I live in Jackson, Wyoming, there are some people who actually raise exotic birds. That includes peacocks, and one of them got loose, went into my cousin's yard, and my cousin's dog attacked it and killed it. And I ended up with a lifetime supply of peacock swords and peacock eyes. So I'm quite fortunate. We're going to be tying this on the top of the fly. You'll notice this is a pretty simple fly to tie. It looks somewhat complex, but it's actually pretty darn easy. Tie that in just like that, and that's going to extend off just about like that. I might close it in a little bit more, right about there. And that will form kind of an overtail. You got that original material right here. I'm touching with my ring finger. And then this overtail. I'm going to separate the fibers out. Give that a wrap. And that should secure it. And you do want to be careful with that vein. You don't want it to start breaking on you. So I'm going to be very, very gentle with it. I'm going to use our body material. And our body material is going to be Crystal Flash chenille. This material here. This comes from Wapsi. And I'm going to give that a cut. Actually, let me lengthen it out a bit. This separates off pretty well, so you can just tie it in right there on the threads themselves. Remember, being very careful of that vein. Don't want that vein to split. Now I'm going to wrap this thread forward to just about here. I'm going to start wrapping the body material forward to there as well. This ice chenille. This is, I believe this is root beer that I'm using. Packing it back, just pushing it back some. That helps tighten that body up quite a bit. You can see I'm not giving it big full turns because I want to be careful of that, the vein of that peacock sword. And now I'm going to tie it down there with the thread, and I have to do this and stop it right there. I have to do that because I need to secure this peacock sword somewhere in the middle of the body, and I'm going to secure it right there. I'm doing that because successive uses of this will force that peacock sword to kind of bow up from the body. This helps keep it packed down and tightened up some. So right about there. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring that thread all the way forward, right about to there. If you look at that, you still can't really tell too much that there's a piece of thread that's separated right there. Now again, being very careful of that vein now, because now is when it starts to get very stiff. And so I'm just going to raise it gently each time. I'm going to stop it right there. Secure it. Pack it back a bit. Wrap the thread forward again. And then bring that body material, that chenille, forward again. Stopping it right there. And that's where I will trim it. Give it a little push back. And now I'm going to tie down that wing material. And then you can stop right there, or you can put on a beard. And I'm going to have a beard just coming right off the downside of this. And to do that, I'm going to use angel hair, this material here. It's a very good saltwater material. A lot of saltwater tires use it to accentuate features on the deceiver or a seducer or something like that. That's basically what we're doing here. It's doing the same thing. It's just kind of accentuating the fly a bit. I'm going to roll this up like so. And that should secure it. And then I'm going to trim this butt section, hopefully without cutting the thread. But I dropped the scissors. And then trim this just a bit. I want this to go back right about to where the bend of the hook starts. So that's where I will clip it. In fact, I'll do it on that side just to kind of show everybody. And that's your beard. And of course, as your fly is getting stripped through the water, this will be laying back and flaring out some. You can whip finish this or half hitch it, whatever you choose. trim that off, all the thread, and now you want to trim that body down. It's a little too fat for how I like it, so get in right there, start cutting it away. Do that on the two sides, the flanks of the fly, and then you do it on the bottom as well. On this side. Get the beard out of the way. That's your peacock. And I swear to God we use this for sea run brown trout. I promise you that. But hey, take it out for some Dorado or sailfish even, and see what happens.